welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at JCON Europe, coming to you live from Cologne, Germany. And my next guest is Buhake. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
And so you mentioned that your talk is about Jakarta EE in the cloud.
Yeah.
There is a lot to unpack here.
Okay.
So generally, I would say like Java in the cloud, what does it mean?
Yeah.
It will probably mean like you pack something in containers and throw it out there.
Yep.
But maybe Jakarta EE is different. Tell us, how do you run Jakarta EE in the cloud?
Well, the simplest form is basically containerize your application and then deploy it into a cloud service provider, hosted by some third-party service provider. That means you do not have the infrastructure on your premises. So if you need to scale your application, the service provider can handle that for you, or you can write some rule sets to actually auto-scale based on the demand of your application. So basically, nothing now is done on premise, is now done on the third parties.
So let me ask you something. You say like you containerize it and just put it on the cloud. How does it differ from not Jakarta EE? How does it differ from any other type of application?
Well,
what's special Jakarta EE about it?
Well, the good thing about Jakarta EE is you have the freedom to choose whatever platform or application server you want to run it, or microservices containers that you want. So your focus basically should be you write your code based on, write code to meet customer expectation or deliverables, and then all the non-functional stuff that most developers don't like to think about, let the container handle that. So unlike other frameworks where you have to configure your security and all of that stuff, that comes already out of the box with other containers.
So you have a specialized containers which provide the infrastructure for your application to run?
Yeah. So if you're gonna, for example, if you want to run it on Quarkus, you can just write your code using Jakarta EE framework, and then run it on Quarkus, package it, deploy it on the cloud. Or if Quarkus is not your thing, you like Helidon, take the same code, probably one or two configuration, build a package, publish it on the cloud. Well, if you're not familiar with, you're still scared about running microservices and whatever, and you still like application server and you still like to tweak things, you have plenty of choices. You have Payara, which is famous, the Omnifish guys are here. You have IBM's OpenLiberty. You have Red Hat Wildfly. These are the three popular ones. You have Oracle's version, WebLogic if you go enterprise. And that's also the beauty about it, because enterprise, for example, like companies like to have licensed application servers. So you've already got your IBMs, your Microsoft, or your WebLogic or your WebSphere application service. So you already have enterprise licenses already from these big corporates who are also part of the Jakarta EE working group and the community. And they also contributing to the framework. And then same application, you can run it on open source application server and still take it to an enterprise licensed application server.
So that makes it very easy to develop, because you don't want to stop and start your WebLogic every time you change a line of code.
Yeah.
But then if it's portable, you can start it with something very lightweight like Quarkus, and then end up, when you come to those corporate restrictions, you will still be able to deploy the same code.
Exactly. So basically your application is always smaller, lighter, and then portable anyway. So, and fun fact, for example, us as developers with a team, what we do is we even containerize our development framework. So your application server, your database and whatever, and then we just submit that to the team, and then they all run it on any operating system of their choice.
And this is very convenient for development environment,
Yeah.
for testing, and generally being very productive when you write your code.
Yeah, so, and then if you have a nice CI/CD tool, you can actually build, create an image, deploy it, let your team test. If it works, then you can actually have something to actually publish.
Yeah,
Whereas-
I love it.
Yeah. So I like easy, I like simple, I like small.
Yeah.
And especially, like I spoke earlier to the Fuji guys, we don't, in South Africa, we don't have like faster internet like in Europe. You want something that, at least if you push it over the wire, it should take like a minute or two, and then you have enough time to go home afterwards and enjoy time with your family. Instead of always having to deploy a big application and then you get network timeout, and then you have to make sure you go to a place where there's like, internet is much open, and then deploy. So
Yeah, that's a consideration that we might not be aware of, but it actually exists, and it's might be a very big deal. So for that, like smaller images, smaller code base, it's also important.
I'm pro for that. Well, I grew up in a time where you wrote code and we're trying to write it as simple and light as possible, and back in the day we used to optimize.
No, not anymore. That's not we stopped paying attention to that, but maybe we should. No,
look, for example, Java and the JDK is already doing a lot of optimization that we don't need to stress anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's also another one advantage that I always promote. We need to promote our developers to move out of, for example, a lot of people are still in Java 8. If we can let them at least go Java 11, then Java 17, then Java 21, then Java 22 eventually, or GraphVM. This year I started with GraphVM actually, because I wanted to build a native image and run it. But, gradually, when you show an advantage to everybody else, then everybody jumps ship.
Oh, for sure. And for GraalVM, we're going to have Alina on the show soon enough. She will tell us everything about GraalVM. So thank you very much. Your talk is on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's going to be published, and then everybody can watch it. Buhake, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you all stay tuned for more episodes. As I already mentioned, we're going to talk about GraalVM and all kind of cool stuff soon enough during the next 3 days of JCON Europe, live from Cologne. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.